The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf.
The first takeaway from that is the discovery in the north side. There are three leads that we've identified on this block. And the first lead, the one that was drilled and is on trend with several of the other producing fields locally, is they quantified that as 27 million barrels of oil net to our company.
All right, welcome back inside our Proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Scott Lowry, who's the president of Trillion Energy. And Scott, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Hey, Steve. No, I'm doing very well. Excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to talk about. The world's been talking oil lately, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's talk a bit about the company as well, because you've had some pretty significant news out recently, and one of which was this independent resource evaluation. And maybe kind of explain that one for us and see what you're seeing.
Sure, sounds good. I mean, as you know, we're an oil-focused company. We pivoted out of the natural gas space, and we're oil focused in the Middle East now. We've got a very exciting exploration opportunity with development potential as well. So our resource report, what happened was last year there was two wells drilled on part of our oil block in southeast Turkey, which is close to Iraq and Syria. Now, there was a discovery made, and so we took the time to have a third-party independent quantify the potential for the development of that discovery. And they came up with some pretty remarkable results from our perspective.
Yeah, and maybe share just a few of those results because I think people and the company I know is excited about what they saw.
Yeah, sure. So, Steve, the first takeaway from that is the discovery in the north side. There are three leads that we've identified on this block. And the first lead, the one that was drilled and is on trend with several of the other producing fields locally, is they quantified that as 27 million barrels of oil net to our company. And then net from that, after you deduct royalty, somewhere around 23 million barrels of oil. And this is recoverable oil. So it's from our point of view, that was a really great start off to the exploration program, having the first of three prospects drilled and then a discovery being made, and is quite significant from the point of view of our company's direction and our shareholder value.
Yeah, and that really leads into the next phase of news is that you've gone out to raise some capital. I'd imagine to sort of get onto these assets that you've already had this report out about.
Yeah, we've got three partners in this project there, and everybody has their share of capital that they have to contribute to drill the wells and to proceed with the exploration and development program for the block. And so it's now our turn to raise the money and to fund the exploration. We have a two-well commitment on this block and some seismic, and so we're in the process of conducting a private placement for the company. It's been well received in the market. We announced it a week ago, and this is very exciting times, and it's time to top up the capital and drill for oil.
Yeah. Scott, I would imagine that you're getting a lot of eyes on the company, just what's happening in the world, as I mentioned a bit earlier. Everyone was expecting the Strait of Hormuz to be open by now and have those tankers coming through. And so there's a lot of focus on the oil industry, gas prices. I'm sure you're getting inundated with calls and texts and emails about, what's the company up to, what's happening, what's your opinion. Is that what you're seeing too?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of excitement. And when there's scarcity and problems, like no one ever thought this problem would ever happen in the
Yeah.
Strait. And with 20% of all of the world's oil going through that strait, and Iran making it their strategic leverage point to shut it down and mining the strait, they're telling us it's going to be 7 or 8 months. I mean, we read that 7 or 8 months to demine the strait. I mean, there's no short-term solution to that. Read recently that that Iran's production, some of their fields are going to stop producing, and you might get a lot of formation damage, and it might might not come on for quite a significant amount of time. So there's some structural problems here, and there's a longer term outlook to this issue. I don't see any short term fixes which are just going to put all that oil back on into the system anytime soon.
So does that put some, I don't want to say pressure is not really the right word, but does that put a note in the company that we need to continue pushing forward with what we're doing? I mean, you're raising capital to get that done. So I imagine there's some time that you want to really start getting moving here.
Yeah, we're going to quickly close this raise off, and then we're going to pay for some of our work commitments over there in Turkey to get things going. We have we're hoping to get some wells drilled over the next year, and if we can get some production, let's get some production out of this field. I mean, our advantage is we don't rely on shipping through the strait. Everything we have in this area is pipeline accessible and used in the local area. And again, the prices are very, very high in the local area, especially given the situation.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Scott, thanks very much. Good luck with the rest of the capital raise. We look forward to our next conversation as well. Really appreciate the update on what's going on.
All right. Thanks so much, Steve.
All right. There's Scott Lauer. He's the president of Trillion Energy.
The featured company is a paid client of Proactive Group Holdings, and this recording is disseminated by Proactive on its behalf. It is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, an offer, or a solicitation to buy or sell any securities. Viewers should conduct their own research and consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions. The views expressed are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of Proactive Group Holdings, trading as Proactive Investors or its affiliates. No responsibility is accepted for any loss arising from reliance on the information presented.